Hello, welcome to my channel, Wing Spiritual Clarity. My name is Wendy Wing. I'm going to be doing a reading for the collective. Hello, collective. You're welcome here. So, since this is a general reading, I'm not tuning into one person's specific energies. I'm tuning into very general energies. So take what resonates and leave the rest. Wow. Okay, a lot of major arcana cards. You might be going through some issues that are core issues, not just something, an issue of the week or something. It's your core issues. Wow. All right. So, collective. In the past, you were in the energy of transformation, death, at the end of a cycle. Something has to end so something new can begin. It looks like with this transformation, what you released were a lot of fears, repressed emotions, maybe things that kept you confused and in the dark. You really had to face a lot of your insecurities. And this allowed you to become more disciplined, more clear mentally, very truthful about yourself and your environment, what's really going on. It feels like you had to really boss up. It feels a lot about being honest with yourself. It feels like a lot of truth. And with that truth came, even though some of these truths feel very painful, it feels like these truths, being able to face these truths about yourself, about other people, about situations, allowed you to, was like the impetus to this transformation. Like once you understood these truths, you can't unsee the truths. It looks like you definitely went within to heal from this situation or situations. And it helped you get out of a space where you felt really stuck, like no options. And it feels like you just were waiting and waiting and waiting and waiting, and kind of in a it felt like a time for a long time where there were no options. You couldn't see any change that you wanted to make was not available to you until these truths came out and you ended a cycle. Or I'm getting lots of cycles. In present time, you're in the energy of hope. It's a great energy to be in, hopeful. It looks like right now, collective, what you're facing is being dependent on others. You're really learning how to support yourself, take care of yourself, protect yourself. You're learning a lot about who you can trust and who you can't trust, how to resolve issues. Feels like this was related. There's something about the truths in the past. It feels like in the past there's a little bit of a naivete going on, and in present time you're figuring out how to communicate, how to stand up for yourself, how to figure things out that you might not have been in charge of in the past. Maybe you delegated those to other people or someone else, and you are learning to step in to new roles. I think at times right now, you might feel overwhelmed and a bit defensive, and exhausted, because this has been a lot of cycles ending and transformation, and maybe exploring the difference between a boundary and defenses. Boundaries, I find, are best when I can communicate them clearly. This is what I need, blah, blah, blah. Something very, communicating exactly what you want. I do not want to be touched. No, thank you. I don't want to go. Not needing to make an excuse or trying to get someone to understand, but just, this is a boundary of mine. I don't want to talk about this right now, things like that. Versus defenses feel like you're already blocked up before anybody can even come in. When I feel defensive, the defenses keep the good and the wanted and unwanted things from getting to me. When I'm feeling defensive, I don't have access to my intuition. It's a very limiting. It cuts my energy off. When I have strong boundaries, then I feel very secure. That I feel the more I communicate my boundaries and stand up for my boundaries, the more confident I feel and the less defensive I need to feel. So, all right, some family patterns that you might be working through right now, collective, is power. So what are family patterns around power? I'm getting that the people in your family, when you showed inner strength, when you stood up for yourself, then you would get ghosted. That people would pull their affection away, pull their attention, they'd turn their back on you, somehow withhold affection. And so it kept you playing small, because whenever you did show your strength, then affection, attention, love, care would be pulled away. And so you learned that standing up for yourself, asserting your boundaries, made you less controllable. And it feels like a family pattern is around control, about someone wanting to be able to move you around, being able to move you like a chess piece. It looks like right now what you're learning is that you're taking your power back. And I'm also getting that the greatest power requires the lightest touch. So yeah, I feel like we might come back to the power thing. Yes, because, all right, so personal issue is spiritual strength. Personal issue. I'm getting that there's beliefs that you have that are limiting beliefs around when I get this, that's how I'll be able to receive what it is I want. And what you're being reminded is that that is a very 3D view of how to achieve something, and spirit vibration first, that you're much stronger than you believe. You are already worthy. You are already valuable. You are already complete in this moment. Whatever it is that you're wanting, that you feel, there's a nervousness, like a fear. It's kind of first chakra. It feels like not knowing where the next paycheck's coming from, not knowing where there's something feels like might be missing or might be leaving, that you depend on, that you need. And it feels like you might be trying to fill that void with, trying to logic your way out of it. And instead of relying on the spiritual strength that you have, you've got access to such amazing energy. I'm gonna have to look at that some more. My own limiting beliefs are kind of like, really, can you? I mean, so with this message, I feel even my resistance to this message, which is interesting in itself. Right now, it feels like you're trying to balance, trying to find some balance. You've felt very imbalanced for a while. There's feels like right now, or there's a personal issue that you might be working through, where you constantly put a lot of work and effort into something and you don't reap the results. So it feels like a belief that I work really hard and I don't get anything out of it. So there's a belief system, or like a bunch of beliefs around, um, I work really hard, but I don't get anything in return. I wonder if we can soften that belief. So something we can still believe, but change the perspective and kind of soften that. So something, it has to be something that you believe in as well, but stop kicking that belief that I work really hard, but I don't get paid. I don't get what I want in return. What I'm getting is that you put a lot of work in and you get very little out. And so that feels like, not only in jobs, but relationships, and just in life in general, putting a lot of effort out, not getting a lot back. So I'm getting that maybe a belief that you could switch to is something more like, I really enjoy when I reap the benefits from the efforts I put forth. I mean, that's true as well, right? I mean, who doesn't? And maybe, I really enjoy giving. Oh, okay. I also enjoy receiving. I think you might get into a habit, or this is a habit from life has taught you. You've taught yourself throughout life that you need to give and give and give and give. Maybe because you don't feel valuable, you don't feel worthy of getting something back. Maybe doing a meditation, especially at the beginning of the day, and thinking about all the people who've been there for you, who've given to you selflessly, and how much you appreciated that. How many people who have, can you think of situations where people have come out of the woodwork to help you, and they didn't want to be paid back. They wanted to help. And it was really nice. Can you think of teachers who helped you, and you remember thinking, wow, that's really nice. I mean, they're going out of their way, and they're taking their time and energy, and they're giving that to me. And how nice that felt to be on the receiving end. Can you think of family members who have done nice things for you, friends who have just shown up and been very giving of their time, giving of their attention, their affection? Can you think of relationships when someone cared for you, even when you didn't feel like you were worthy of that care, and it just felt so wonderful to be embraced? I mean, maybe literally embraced, and how safe that felt. So those situations, remembering how wonderful it is to receive, that sometimes that not all being able to receive is that you've had to work really hard. There are plenty of times you can think of, if you start thinking of one and then relive it like it's happening now, like how great it felt, then your energy is in that receptive mode, appreciation and receptivity. Like how wonderful it is to have someone unexpectedly show up and offer something that you really needed or you really wanted. It really was a game changer. All right, so your conscience is in the energy of Five of Wands, obstacles and challenges. I get that your conscience, where your thinking is, might be around focusing on the obstacle instead of so focusing on the obstacle instead of where you want to go. I'm having that picture of you're on a bike and you're on a trail and you're riding the bike, and there's a rock, a pretty nice size rock, and if you focus on the rock, there's a rock, I don't hit the rock, boom, you hit the rock because you're focusing on it. You don't want to go there, but you're focusing there, and the universe doesn't know negatives. So I don't want this, I don't like this. The universe takes out the negatives, and you are focusing on this, whatever this is, that rock, that obstacle, instead of seeing the rock and then focusing on, where you want to go around it. So I'm going to focus here. I'm not going to focus on the rock because that's not where I want to go. Yes, there's an obstacle, but where I'm focusing is how I'm going to get around that. And it feels like the more you work in that vein, the more you train your mind, instead of like, well, there's a rock in the middle of the road and I don't know it, and I hit it, and then I just keep seeing rocks in the road and I keep hitting them. So there's a training, teaching yourself how to identify, okay, rock in the road. Okay, I'm going to figure out how to go around it. Your desire right now is Five of Pentacles, financial and material changes. Five of Pentacles is, it feels like feeling left out in the cold, feeling separated, feeling disconnected from warmth, not being able to take care of yourself, not being able to take care of your health. That definitely feels like an obstacle coming up. It looks like what you have going for you is that you've got a lot of emotional balance. Like you've really learned how to not ignore or repress emotions, but deal with emotions as they come up. When you have a Five of Pentacles situation, then you feel separated, left out in the cold, isolated from warmth. And then it feels like an ability to acknowledge, ooh, some fear coming up, some worry. All right, so fear and worry is coming up. Uncertainty, not knowing, uncertainty is very uncomfortable. Fear is very uncomfortable. Being emotionally balanced doesn't mean that you only have positive emotions, wanted emotions, but it's about being able to feel the more unwanted emotions and not have them derail you. It's not about not feeling painful emotions. It's about being able to feel them and without the emotions taking you away, throwing you off balance, being very clear, like, yeah, I'm feeling very fearful right now, very nervous, very, it's also making, that nervousness is making me feel frustrated and even wanting me to find the source of this and punish that. Like, honestly, that's kind of what I'm getting. But being emotionally balanced is saying, yeah, okay, all that's going on, but I'm still grounded. And I'm not going to react from those emotions. I'm going to allow myself to feel them, not repress them, allow them to flow through. Notice when they start, they ebb and flow. It's like tides coming in and leaving. And so just notice when tides come in, say that, this is temporary, this is uncomfortable, but this is temporary. And emotions are important. It's important that I feel this without trying to resist it. And it's also important that I don't, I'm not my emotions. Just because I'm feeling fearful doesn't mean I'm fear. I'm getting some information, some emotional information, and just take it as information. I hope that makes sense. So your higher self is in disruption, tower. You're having a tower moment. You could be, depends on what timeline you're on. You could be experiencing a tower right now, or you could be just went through one, or there could be a tower on its way. What is around this disruption? It's around feeling insecure. Insecure about maybe insecure about emotions. I'm getting that something is very disappointing, that something is showing up in your environment and it's creating like a feeling like an obstacle. Hmm. It's around someone, I no, I feel like it's around not feeling like you receive enough, around reciprocity, which also came up in that personal issues with spiritual strength, where I talked about practicing receiving. That's an interesting belief system that I'm now tuning into. That's something like I don't, people don't give to me. I don't receive what I need from others. This feels like the same belief, maybe a little bit of a difference to it, but people not giving you enough. There's a belief that people are around you aren't doing enough for you, and that does make you feel powerless because you're wanting someone outside of you to change who they are or how they're behaving so you can feel that fulfillment. Whereas really, let's look at it, the belief from a more empowering point of view. Maybe that's a projection. Maybe you're feeling that you're not enough, that I don't feel I don't feel I'm inherently valuable or worthy. So I have to make up for it for my actions. There's a disappointment, constantly feeling disappointed in others. Maybe it's coming from constantly feeling disappointed with yourself. You know, in situations, I'm never sure if I'm going to like who's at this party, who's going to be at this event, who I'm going to meet. Um, I can't control other people and I can't control their behavior. So I've stopped worrying about who's going to show up, and I focus on how I'm showing up. That I can control. I want to like myself at the end of the party, at the end of the get together, at the end of whatever's encounter. Yeah, I might not, I might like some of the people. I might really like some people, and there might be some people who just get on my ever living nerves. However, how I respond to each of these situations really informs me on, do I like myself? Was I happy with how I showed up? Did I show up for myself? Did I'm proud that I showed up. I'm proud that I had boundaries. I'm proud that I had some fun. I'm proud of who I showed up as. That's what you can control. And appreciating yourself, giving to yourself. Feel that some of you are are needing some type of help with something, needing assistance, needing, and it feels like a big question mark. Like, I don't know how I'm going to get this. I'm going to receive this. Logically, I can't figure out how I'm going to receive this. But I get this feeling that Spirit wants to show you how you can receive. There's something about being willing to receive and not having it to have to be, it has to look like this, because logically that's what, let's say you need to buy a car. Well, logically, okay, how much money do I have? Can I get a loan? Where do I go? Do I, look on Craigslist? Do I go to Marketplace? Do I go to an auto dealer? Who do I, it feels like trying to work it out instead of just allowing things, talking to people and seeing how to receive. It feels like the universe wants to give to you, and you might be standing in, your limiting beliefs might be standing in the way of receiving what you need. So it feels like a practicing of receiving. Your challenge right now is your solar plexus chakra. So solar plexus chakra is right where your ribs meet, right down here. And it's the seat of your personal power. So your challenge right now, something that's going on, is making you feel unempowered. It might be keeping you up at night or creating some hopelessness and anxiety. It looks like some heartbreak in your past, some grief and suffering that you've gone through, a lot of betrayal has really worked over your empowerment, like seed of empowerment. That the actions of someone else somehow is a reflection of who you are. If someone betrayed you, if someone put you in a third party situation, then you might be apt to then see their behavior as a reflection of who that means you are. And instead, I think what I'm getting is someone who betrays you, someone who puts you in a third party situation, someone who lies to you and manipulates you and creates a lot of emotional pain and sorrow for you and makes you feel very unempowered. That's them. That's their behaviors. Those are their actions. Stop carrying around the hurt from what they did. That hurt is theirs. The responsibility for what happened is all on them. It's not on you. It's time to take back your power, to release this and give that pain. It feels like you're possibly carrying around the guilt and shame that's theirs, the pain that's theirs. And take back your power. I didn't do that. And that's on them. The heartbreak, the pain, the sorrow. Again, it's okay to feel those emotions and then release them. Give them back to whoever did this. It's not yours to carry. All right. The lesson right now is Eight of Cups, emotional withdrawal. The lesson is to walk away from things that are no longer fulfilling, to have compassion for yourself, to nurture yourself, to heal. I'm get both the King and Queen of Cups came out upright in this reading. So there's a lot of emotional stability and compassion. Use that intuition of yours. I get the feeling that a lot of you are very intuitive. And if something doesn't feel that it's right for you, even if it's just today, or if it's for a long time, it takes so much bravery to walk away from something that is not fulfilling. Instead of trying to, with the Eight of Cups, I'm seeing the original tarot where there are 8 cups stacked and there's someone walking away from those 8 cups. And what I'm imagining is there's nothing in those cups. It's like, it feels like you've stayed for a long time waiting for, yes, there are 8 cups, the potential of emotional fulfillment, but there's nothing in those cups. And it feels like you've waited for a long time for those cups to be filled by someone else. And maybe this same someone else who's you're giving to the relationship and they were giving to someone else. That type of scenario. And it's time to walk away and find that sunshine, find your happiness, find that inner child. Feels like you've been in a very serious energy for a long time. Your advice right now is 6 of Pentacles, material and spiritual prosperity. So reciprocity. Your advice is, ooh, okay. You might have some attachments, feeling attached to someone, feeling like you need someone, like a codependency, someone who's very toxic. You might realize that they're really toxic, but there's, for some reasons, you feel that you need them despite them being toxic. And it feels like by being tied to this person, there's it creates a lot of destructive behavior to stay tied to someone who's very toxic. Feels like they drain your energy. Feels like they purposefully keep you very insecure and unstable. It feels like they're part of the giving and giving and giving to someone, getting very little back. And so over time, maybe they took advantage of from your childhood already having this belief that you need to give much more to a connection because you're somehow less than or unworthy. And over time, you ended up giving more and more and more, and they gave less and less and less until you didn't even value yourself. And so then they went to someone else. And it feels like you allowed them to completely drain you while you were waiting for them to eventually start giving to the connection, but instead they're giving to someone else. They might have been giving to someone else for a long time, maybe many someone else's. I think what you've got going on for you is a lot more abundance once you let go of whatever ties you still to this person. Once you let everything release, you don't need this person, and show yourself, I don't need this person, then you will step into stability, security, abundance, prosperity. And once you release, no matter how scary or uncertain or it makes you to let go of these last vestiges of the connection with this person, then you'll move a lot faster. You'll make a lot of very quick changes. It's like you're taking the reins in your hands and releasing. It feels like for a while you've been letting go and learning more and more about how strong you really are, how valuable you really are, how empowered you really are. And it just feels like right now there is a tower coming up, or you're in it, or you just went through a tower that is here to help you see that yet one more step, you don't need this person, that you can do this on your own, that you can do it. So, all right, collective, that's your reading. I hope this was helpful. Thank you so much for joining. Bye.